Disney gives away free Wi-Fi on every cruise. Or just about every cruise, and in today's video I'm going to go over those tips and tricks to make the most out of every megabyte. You know me, I am all about disconnecting on vacation. We've got smartphones, smartwatches, we're so connected all the time, being able to disconnect for a period of time and enjoy the Disney magic enhances the trip like none other. I'll be the first to admit it, I spent way too much time on my smartphone at Disney in the past. I was looking at Disney through the screen of my smartphone, and to me that really took away from the magic. As soon as I started putting the phone down more, I was able to capture more of it through these lenses. On the Disney Cruise Line, however, this is far less of a problem, simply because as soon as you leave the shore, you're totally out of service. If you don't need to be connected on board, I recommend just not connecting. Be disconnected, enjoy the Disney cruise, don't even bother with the Wi-Fi. That being said, there are some in our community who do need to be connected on board, whether it's for work or some other reason, and Disney does give you the option. Disney has several different packages for getting data on board, whether you're paying per megabyte or buying a larger package. You can do it all through the My Disney Experience app, and Disney does have that free 50 megabyte plan as well on most of their adventures, but you must get it on the very first day. I had to double check this one with Disney, and they said that they don't guarantee that you'll see the free 50 megabyte offer on board your cruise. That being said, every cruise I've been on and all the cruises that I've heard from friends, it has been available. So don't count on it, but it's probably going to be there. 50 megabytes may sound like a lot, but let me tell you, your phone can go through that in no time. You can go to sleep one night with 48 megabytes left of your 50 free, wake up the next morning and there are 0 left, simply because it was doing things in the background. I'm going to dive into some tips and tricks to prevent your phone from eating up all of this data while you're sleeping, but before we do that, how do you get these free 50 megabytes? Getting the free 50 megabytes is super easy. All you have to do is make sure you have the Disney Cruise Line app installed on your phone before you get on board, and then once you're on board, connect to the Wi-Fi and look for the Connect at Sea. You'll see 50 free megabytes for that first day only. Make sure you click it right then, register, sign up. It doesn't cost you anything, just make sure you have those 50 megabytes before you take off. Technically, you can sign up for the free 50 megabytes anytime on that first day, but if you're like me and you go to dinner and then you just go to sleep, you're likely going to forget it. So I would recommend doing it just as soon as you step on board. When you get a free moment, just go ahead, sign to the Wi-Fi, get that package, and then log out of it. We'll talk more about that in a moment, and then you're set to go. That's how you get the free data on board the Disney Cruise Line. Now, I recommend you use it sparingly because it can run out super fast, and on that note, let's move into those tips and tricks for saving data. First and foremost, use airplane mode. Airplane mode is all but essential when you're on the Disney Cruise Line, simply because if you're not on the Wi-Fi, you'll start getting a lot of roaming charges, and if you are on the Wi-Fi, you'll just run the Wi-Fi out in about an hour, so definitely want to use airplane mode. On top of that, once the ship leaves, what I will do is I'll turn off cellular data, so even if by accident I turn airplane mode off, cellular data will not be on, so it's not roaming throughout the entire cruise. Just another quick tip. In addition to airplane mode, another essential tip is to log out of the Connect at Sea Wi-Fi whenever you're not using it. Another key tip is to make sure you know what you want to do with the data. For example, if you want to use it to send a text message, write the entire text message out, then turn the data on, send the message, make sure it was delivered, then turn the data right off. You will save a lot of data that way. Don't linger, don't browse, don't online shop unless you really want to, because it's going to eat up that data extremely quickly. I used these strategies during the father-son Very Merry Cruise, and I found that I was still losing data extremely quickly, despite the fact that I was only using it to send messages to my brother and sister. So what can you do to avoid the data running out extremely quickly when you're just trying to do something simple? Turn off background applications. And on top of that, make sure you're turning off all of the background app refresh for all of your apps. That way they're not going to be using the data when you're trying to do something else. This includes email settings, app store updates, and even social media settings. It's just a habit that you have to get into on board. Before you log into that data, make sure all other apps are closed, background app refresh is not happening, and then you can make the most out of your data. Another important tip is to turn off location services. It seems like a small thing, but you'd be surprised how much the location services uses battery and data. Now, if you're unfamiliar with some of the settings on your specific device, or you feel like the data is being used up way too fast in the background and you're not sure how it's happening, there's an internet connection help desk on Deck 3 on all of the Disney cruise ships. I'm sure they've seen every single device, so they'll be able to turn off any of those background applications for you. Just make sure you know how to turn them back on once you get back to shore. So they have lots lots of different options for data, and they even have free data on board, but do you need Wi-Fi when you're on board a Disney cruise ship? In my opinion, no, you don't. If you need it for work, that's one thing, that's separate. But if you're just thinking about social media posts or online browsing or shopping, I recommend disconnecting completely. It truly enhances the experience. One of the best things, in my opinion, about a Disney adventure is that you have the ability to remove yourself from the real world for a limited time. Not forever, but for a limited time. You don't have to think about taxes or car payment or mortgage or anything like that. You just get to go and enjoy. And disconnecting, I feel, really, truly adds to it. I hope you found these tips helpful, and let me know if you knew about the 50 free megabytes and if you have any other tips and tricks for saving data while you're on board. And let me know in the poll right there if you're more about disconnecting or staying connected on vacation. I would love to hear from you. Thank you so much for being a part of the magic with me. Until next time, have a magical day.